folks, so much went out the window in 2020, and I tell everybody, and being a historian who uses statistics, you can't trust any of the statistics out of 2020. They're just not reliable. I mean, you're looking at these 81 million phantom votes, and you're looking at thousands and thousands of votes pouring in after midnight. And I think years from now, when historians go to write this era, they're going to treat it like people treat, some of the home run records by people like Sammy Sosa or whatnot, Barry Bonds, people like that, McGuire, and they'll put an asterisk next to it and say, well, we really can't trust this data. So that's why when we're looking at Hamilton County and some of these others, it's not as predictive and not as helpful as it would have been perhaps 8 years ago. Okay. Now, I have to make this announcement to everybody. We're getting all sorts of calls and texts and tweets and everything else that all the platforms, not just one, all of them are having problems. Rumble, I mean, you name it. They're all locking up because there is so much interest, not just in our show, but in the election as a whole. So all we can tell you folks is keep reloading. Keep reloading. We're doing everything we can at our end to get you the information in a timely fashion. But once it beams out from us, it's sort of like rock and roll music going across the Berlin Wall. You never know where it's going to end up or in whose ears it's going to end up. So keep appraised of that. We can't fix that. Just keep refreshing.
Yep. Now, here's an update on North Carolina. It's a 4-point Harris lead, only 12% of the vote. So all you folks that are online panicking about North Carolina, you can stop panicking about North Carolina. I found a few counties that have most of their results reported, like Alexander County out in the west, 93% in. Trump is almost at his 2020 vote count, which was an enormous pile of votes. And Harris is lagging the vote count there by about 300. Now, I think that out in that region, you didn't have a lot of the 2020 flair to it. But Trump has a margin out there that is about 2 points, 2.5 points stronger, and it's probably going to finish about 3 or 4 points stronger than he was in 2020. Here's another one out in the east. Remember, North Carolina, every state has its own picture. North Carolina is not favorable for Harris already. 96 out of 100 counties more Republican than they were in 2020. And then you have Mecklenburg and Wake counties. So if she can't max those out, and all trends from similar demographic groups, Dallas County, for example, are that she won't get as big a margins as Biden did, then she shouldn't have the ability to win the state. Now, Pitt County out in the east, you're looking at Eastern Carolina University, I believe that's Greenville. Greensboro's out west, right? So Pitt County is a Democrat county, not by enormous amounts, but Trump has a tighter margin there by about 4 points than he did in 2020. So things are looking good early on, even though the early vote is still processing. And it looks like the turnout is going to be where it needs to be out in the West.
All right. So we're going to give you a word from our sponsors. Remember to go to Decision USA and check out all of our sponsors, especially My Pillow, especially Loaded Gun Coffee, and our fine mineral company there, and of course Wild World of History and Captain K's Corner on Substack. Now we have